Hey fellow artists, so whenever I think that I'm going to have just a smooth day in the workshop, no troubleshooting whatsoever, something happens. But before we get to the troubleshooting and the experimenting to fix a problem, I'd like to shout out Nick from the YouTube channel and the band Sunny Blue and the Moons, because yesterday, during yesterday's stream, Nick had sent me a cortadito through Ko-Fi. He bought me a little cortadito. He actually bought me a big cortadito. So I want to give Nick a big virtual hug here on YouTube. Thank you so much, Nick. I don't know why I didn't see your tip come in during the stream. I would have certainly shouted you out had it come in. This stream is supposed to display whenever a tip comes in. So I really wanted to thank you for that tip. I mean, I was thrown back by the tip. I'm really honored that you enjoyed yesterday's stream. So folks, I'm gonna shout out Nick and his band, Sunny Blue and the Moons. Go visit their YouTube channel because they are an incredible blues phenomenon here on YouTube. And they've collaborated with our buddy Steve Harvey. Go and subscribe to their channel, listen to their music, and guys, I mean, you guys are incredible. I'd love to collab with you sometime in the future. Shoot me an email, or I'll shoot you an email at some point. Once I get tons of stuff off of my to-do list, then we'll get, I'll be ready for doing more collabs. By the way, those of you who have sent me materials, collaboration materials, Renzi and Renzi Reels, by the way, and great bass player, go subscribe to his channel as well. And Mike Mountain Hot Gorley, go subscribe to his channel as well. Guys, I have not forgotten about your collab videos. Again, it's on the to-do list. You know, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Snortapoopus, welcome. Ish feeling slightly better today. Good. I'm glad you're feeling better today, Snortapoopus. Cool. Well, anyways, I'm not here complaining. I'm very grateful that I am so busy here. I mean, you meet so many wonderful artists on YouTube and collaborations and projects do fill up the to-do list. I have the most interesting to-do list on planet Earth, so I'm not complaining about it. I'm just a little frustrated that I can't deliver on things as fast as I want to, so I apologize on everyone waiting for me to produce their collab videos and get stuff done so that we can help each other out here on YouTube. But anyways, shout out to Sunny Blue and the Moons, wonderful blues band keeping this music alive. And okay, so now let's get to today's disaster. I don't know if you caught the few seconds of the stream, Snortapoopus, but I thought today's glazing journey was going to be trouble-free, troubleshooting-free. No, it isn't, and I'll show you why. Okay. So when I doing stream prep today, came in and opened up my low fire glaze, look what I discovered. My glaze has solidified. And so this is what I'm going to do today in the workshop, folks. I'm going to try to make this work. And I'm going to experiment with a few more things that I can have working in the kiln with Raymond's or King Dolphin TV's perspective slide. But King Dolphin TV, if you're in the chat, if today's experiment fails and I can't get a nice shiny black terracotta slide to you, would you be okay with accepting the ready to go slide by my friend Jeff Patterson, the one that I showed you yesterday? It had green and red and it had a white background. Let me know in the chat. It looks like coffee grounds. It does. It's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be a very, you know, it's supposed to be a viscous liquid, but it's not supposed to look like coffee grounds. So let me know, Raymond, if you're okay with me sending you that alternate slide. By the way, the alternate slide is made by a master ceramicist from beginning to end. And actually, it was my buddy Jeff Patterson, you know, that sent me all of these beautiful blanks, all of these beautiful terracotta bisques for me to glaze. Hey, Emmanuel, welcome. Okay. Emmanuel, I say hello, bonjour. I don't speak French, but welcome to the chat. All right. And so, I guess I could say no parlo francés. I don't know if that, if you understand me, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it. But Jeff Patterson provided me with all of these beautiful things to glaze because I guess he watched my tutorial and saw how much trouble I was having hand shaping my terracotta slides. And so the master came in to help me out with this perfectly cylindrical extruded slides. So, we'll be experimenting with one of these today in the hopes that my experiment will lead to a beautiful newly glazed black shiny slide for you, Raymond from King Dolphin TV. But if not, please do let me know if you're okay with me sending you the white, green, and red slide made by our friend, the master ceramicist, Jeff, even if I did have a working glaze right now. But we don't have a working glaze. We don't have a working glaze. We have this. Okay, so this is what I'm planning to do. This is what I'm planning to try. I hope Jeff is not watching this video right now. I tagged him in the video earlier because I didn't know I had this to deal with. Obviously, I improperly stored this. Or maybe had it open too long during a work project, but I didn't maintain my low fire glaze very well. But the thing is, in touching it, I do feel that it is somewhat malleable. Maybe I want to see if I can salvage some of this glaze. If I can't, I can't. And I need to go and order me some new glaze on Amazon. Is it clay? It's well, this isn't clay, Emmanuel. This is supposed to be glaze. And I improperly stored it and it solidified. So I'm going to try to work with it. No guarantees that this will work though. So yeah. So we're going to try this, and if the experiment, if the fix fails, Raymond, we'll talk about sending you another slide. Anyway, let me show you some experiments, some ceramic experiments that I've tried, keeping this nice and stored well. All right. So now I thought about finishing one of these for you, Raymond, but I don't think it'll work out because they're small. They're made for very small hands. And for example, this one barely fits me. This would be like for a young kid or for a person with small hands like me who wants a pinky slide. So this one's not gonna work out for you. Yes, I make slides from terracotta, Emmanuel. Guitar slides, yeah. Here's a finished one. This one I use in a lot of my videos. I'm just troubleshooting a project I had scheduled today. But so Raymond, this one will not fit you. Not even as a pinky slide. It fits me as a pinky slide, so it's not gonna fit you. This one may fit you as a pinky slide, but I have to reglaze it because there are some pits in it. I have very small hands, okay? It would be a good knuckle slide for me, but not for you. It's a little too loose for my pinky. Again, I don't know what your hands look like. This may still be too small for you. That's why I'm not thinking of this one for you either. These are not slides. These are experiments where I've applied copper tape and then glazed it and then put it in the kiln, and look how copper turns out in the FuseWorks craft kiln. But the thing is, this would have to be glazed over again because this has a texture that wouldn't work as a guitar slide. This is just an experiment. Here's a design of guitar slide I was working with, the same copper tape experiment going on there. So basically I would run a cord through there and to make adjustable slides for people with different finger sizes. But again, this is an experiment. This has a texture here that isn't appropriate for guitar sliding. But yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable sending this one to you either, Raymond. I'm also thinking about making guitar components like tuner beans and control knobs. And I find that this technique where I place copper tape onto the workpiece and then glaze and put it into the craft kiln gives me really, really beautiful results. So I think this experiment, this technique would work for making tuner beans and control knobs, but not slides because they're too textured for that. All right, so So I'm gonna set up the work table for our glaze troubleshooting experiment. Will I have a working slide at the end of this? I don't know, Raymond. But if not, we'll be in contact and I'll send you good slides by Jeff Patterson. Ones that he completed from beginning to end. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Pointing you down to the table. I'm taking advantage. Wendy! Wendy says, hello, my son is 6'2" and he'll need a slide with a wider opening. Wendy, these are the terracotta bisques that Jeff Patterson made for me, and all I have to do is glaze them. Of course, if by the time I go to making your son's guitar, I will have a brand new jar of glaze in front of me, Wendy. But do you think this would work well for him? These are too big for me. Let me give you an estimate of the internal diameter. Let me show you. Tape measure. Tape measure. Okay. This has a roughly 1 inch internal diameter. Do you think that these are large enough for your son? Again, way too big for me. I have small hands like you, Wendy. Way too big for me, but maybe good for your son. Let me know in the chat. All right. By the way, Wendy, I will get back to you very soon about that Google form. I haven't forgotten about it. All right. Scatterbrain today, folks. I'm grateful to have so many projects. I'm so grateful. I just wish I can, you know, get things done quicker to really make sure that everyone has a good experience working with me. I'm really working to get through my to-do list. Cheers, folks. This is. Emmanuel says, oh, okay, mine is bottleneck. I made it with a diamond saw. Hey, those bottleneck slides, glass is very good for acoustic guitars. So yeah, keep making your bottleneck slides. And folks, I think Del Puckett has a tutorial on how to build guitar slides with wine bottles. Go search for that tutorial on his channel. That should be big enough. Great, Wendy. I'm glad. Cheers. This is water kefir mixed with a little water. It is my favorite type of Gatorade for this boiling heat out here. All right. I'm gonna move King Dolphin's beautiful guitar out of the way because I do not want to damage this thing that we've been working so hard on for so very long. I do not want to damage it. By the way, folks, we got these strings, the 40, 30, 20p on them yesterday. These are Steve Harvey's killer strings. Yesterday's stream was really fun. All right. Let's put this guy aside so we do not damage him. Setting him aside. Okay. All right. So, before I forget, I brought the Doctor Who electric screwdriver I brought it into the workshop. So it's here, available for me to use. Thank you so much, Antonio. This is beautiful. I love it. All right. So, okay, have this right there, just in case I need it. Just in case I need it. Now, we will be working with the FuseWorks craft kiln, so I have my fire-resistant mitts with me. You guys see me use these all the time when I'm doing fire pit detailing with the necks. We're gonna need these. If we're gonna take a peek in on our experimental slides, we need these. So I'm gonna have these up here, hanging up here. I got some kiln paper. We're going to line the bottom of the FuseWorks craft kiln with this so we don't damage the bottom of the kiln. With clay, it's difficult to make it very smooth. Well, yes, it's Emmanuel, you're absolutely right. These are my hand, oh, sorry, you guys, you fell through a hole in my stand here. All right. These are my hand-shaped terracotta slides, and these are the slides made by my buddy Jeff Patterson, who uses an extruder that he modified to make guitar slides with. So his are perfectly smooth, mine are not. But, you know, I use mine all the time in live performance. They're not, it's not as good as Jeff's slides, but I make it work. I make it work. I like using things that I've made. So, not the same quality as this, for sure. Not the same quality. Hey, but you know, if you want to try your hand at making your own guitar slides without buying too many specialist tools, apart from a craft kiln, a tabletop electric kiln, watch my tutorial. I've linked my terracotta guitar slide tutorial in the description of this live stream. So if you're interested, go and check it out. Yeah, an uneven slide, it'll work for you. It'll work for you, but it's not as good as a, you know, something that's perfectly cylindrical, for sure. Okay, so we got our kiln paper. We're gonna cut this before we put it on the kiln floor. Okay. And I brought some other things with me to experiment with. I was foolish enough when I started making guitar slides to buy this Reiku glaze. I didn't know at the time that you needed special equipment to do Reiku glazing, and so when I read the instructions on this, I'm like, what? You need combustible materials inside of a sealed container? And it's like, I don't have that. And so I have this Reiku glaze that really I can't do Reiku glazing with. But here's the thing, folks. You know that I like to experiment. I'm gonna take one of these beautiful Jeff Patterson slides. Again, I hope Jeff is not watching because he will be appalled. I'm going to cover one of Jeff's slides with the Reiku glaze and see what happens when I fire it up in the FuseWorks craft kiln. I don't know what this will do under quote unquote normal low firing conditions. So I'm just curious. Anyway, I am just curious. So we'll be running an experiment at the same time here. Okay. Actually, we'll be running two experiments because I'm wondering if I can use this this glaze that I allowed to solidify in the jar. It's so embarrassing. I improperly stored my glaze. All right, so it's exactly, I agree with you, Emmanuel. There are no rules to making cigar box guitars. And that's why I feel that I can experiment so much, because the community is open to that. You know, the community is very much about follow creativity where it takes you, and sometimes that creativity has to be applied towards troubleshooting and problem solving and using what you have. And so if this doesn't work out, guys, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and buy a new jar of glaze. But let's see if we can make something happen with this. I don't know. I don't know if anything useful is gonna come out of this glaze today, but we're gonna try it. Okay. First, let's prepare the kiln. Let's prepare the kiln. I'm gonna move this away from it. What do I have? I forgot what I had here. Oh. This is what I was supposed to use today to glaze my slides. Something cute that Jeff sent me. What he told me to do was take one of his bisques, put this inside of it, open it, and then dip it into the glaze for perfect glazing. But since I was irresponsible and let my glaze solidify, I can't do that. So we're going to see if this is still a viable glaze. If I could just pat this, it has the consistency of clay. Maybe I can pat it onto the slide and maybe it'll work. I don't know. It's a troubleshooting experiment, so we'll see. Hail FKHC 2005. Welcome to today's awkward live stream. Yes, was supposed to be smooth sailing. It ain't gonna be that today. Today's entire stream is going to be an experiment, and if none of the experiments work out, I'll be sending Raymond a professionally made slide by a friend. So, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I'll be sending this with Raymond's guitar, QR code to lessons playlist, contact information for some support, and so cool. All right. So, okay, I gotta move my laser engraver away from the kiln heat zone. It gets really hot around the kiln, so we gotta move things over. Move over. Move over. Move over. There we go. Okay. We've moved over the laser engraver. Now we gotta give the kiln some breathing room here. Get this out of the way. Unplug things. Unplug everything. me just get a lot of stuff out of the way because this is gonna get really hot and needs a nice. The Fuse Works Craft Kiln. Say hello, chat. This is probably the first time I live stream with my kiln. I say put Gumby in the kiln. No, because Gumby would for sure make sure that all the projects fail, FKHC. We don't want Gumbies anywhere near this workshop, okay? There's already plenty of bad luck in here, or maybe just me being irresponsible and storing my my supplies. That, more than bad luck, that may be it. So here we go. I'm gonna be very careful, make sure there are no spiders around there. The Fuse Works Craft Kiln. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it awesome? I gotta make sure that I gotta turn everything off in this garage before I get that kiln working. If not, it will burn out. It will cause circuit breakers to go, and then we have to wait a few hours to run anything and run the kiln itself. And it could also burn out the kiln. When you guys do check out my tutorial that I have linked in the video description box on how to use this thing. Yeah, it draws a lot of current. So nothing can be plugged in or working in this garage while this kiln is working. Nothing. Okay. Let me clear the workspace around the kiln. Do a little bit of sweeping there. Safety first, guys. Let's center this back here. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. You made yours with oil can or old parts card, but the handle is in wood. I'm furniture maker. Cool beans, Emmanuel. Cool beans. I gotta check out your work. Emmanuel, do you have a YouTube channel? Let me know in the chat. Of course you have a YouTube, but do you post on your YouTube? Let me know in the chat. All right. Let's check the inside of the kiln to make sure that we're okay. Yep. Okay, let's give this a little wipe down. And now, we need some kiln paper on the shelf floor there, the floor of the kiln. No, but why not? You should feature your work on YouTube, Emmanuel. You should absolutely do that. Join the CBG creator community. Why not? FKHC 2005. Only great things about Gumby is that you can use him as window caulk. You guys are really harsh on Gumby. Is Gumby that much of a problem? really? Let me know in the chat. All right, so let's see. Can we reuse these pieces from old cuts? No, maybe. No. Okay. Since all of our work today is experimental and I don't know if anything's going to turn out, we're going to use this pre-cut piece. I don't need all of my experiments to fill the bottom of the kiln. We'll save this for a real project. Emmanuel says, I will try it. Emmanuel, when you start your YouTube channel and you start producing videos, let me know. I will go and sub to your channel and check out your videos and check out your builds. I'd love to see a real master woodworker make cigar box guitars. So yes, let me know. All right. We're gonna use this pre-cut piece for our experiments. All right. You sent me a video. Okay, I'll check it out. FKHC 2005. Is it a Gumby video? All right. Where are my materials? Looking for my materials. Oh gosh, my brain is all over the place and I don't know where I set down my materials. Sure. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay. Now for the experiments. Oh my gosh, I hope my friend Jeff Patterson is not watching. All right. He'd be like, Liza, this can't be real what you're doing. Why are you doing this? All right, so. Oh, you sent Raymond the video. Okay, I see. All right, so. The question is, here's the ultimate question, everyone watching this silly video. Can I glaze this perfect terracotta slide? Okay, can I glaze this perfect terracotta slide made by my friend Jeff Patterson with LG series Cone 5 glaze that has solidified because I didn't store this properly? Can it be done? We'll see. Now, this glaze is non-toxic and it has no lead in it, so I'm figuring that it's safe for me to handle and mold with my hands. But let's find out. Usually, real glazing requires 3 coats. You let it dry, and then you go for another coat, let it dry, go for another coat. And after the third coat has dried, then you can put it in the kiln. After it comes out of the kiln, you gotta just sand off the bottom where it was sitting on the kiln paper, and then your slide is done basically. But today we're going with this experimental process because again, my glaze is not a liquid anymore. It has been ruined because I did not store it properly. We're gonna see if I can still use it though. I hate wasting things, and you know, it was almost a full jar, almost a full container of glaze. I'm hoping that that I can still make use of it. All right, let's see. Am I being silly trying this? Maybe. Maybe. All right. And yeah, I really hope that Jeff doesn't mind me using one of his slides for this experiment. No worries, Jeff. I'm not going to be doing this again. I'm going to buy proper glaze to glaze your beautiful slides with. I just wanted to see if I can still make this for my friend King Dolphin TV, although the glaze has turned to mush. So let's see if this will even stick. It's not exactly adhering to the surface. All right. I'm avoiding the bottom because something needs to sit on the kiln floor. All right. Solidified low fire glaze. It's not supposed to look like this, but I'm going to see if this is going to work for us. Hi, Raymond. Oh my gosh. It would be smooth sailing if this was still a liquid glaze. I'm not too worried about it being even, because no matter how much I try, it's not going to. And hopefully the kiln, the melting process will smooth everything out. Will it work? I don't know. I do not know. I'm just being frank with you guys. I'm hoping that this glaze is still useful for something. Can you melt it? That's what I'm going to try to do, Raymond. I'm going to try to melt it. I'm going to try. Got to make sure that there's no air. I'm going to try to melt it. That is the plan. Okay. If this works, Raymond, then I'll know what to do the next time I ruin a glaze. I don't like to waste materials. This is so sad. So hopefully it will work. Hopefully. Oh, almost fell through the floor there. All right. Again, there's no lead in this glaze. I made sure to buy a low fire glossy glaze that had 0 lead in it, so I can handle this without a problem. But I am gonna try to melt it. That is the plan. That is the plan. That is the plan. Will it work? I don't know. There's a hard bit in there. Let me get that out. Another hard bit in there. There's quite a few hard bits in there. Okay. All right, Raymond, I think I squeezed out all the air in there. Well, oh, maybe not. Okay. Okay, without risking any further misshaping, I'm gonna place this ugly thing in the kiln, Raymond, and let's see if the melting will actually do something. Let's see if this silly experiment will yield something useful for us. Okay, this is, I'm just gonna put this on the shelf here. It's not simple for made slide to model in the mold for must. If you sink what I want, talk. Okay. I agree with you. This is definitely not a viable way to make slides. Yeah. This is just an experiment, Emmanuel, to see if I can get this to, if I can use this ruined glaze for something. All right, experiment 1. Let's put it in the kiln. Experiment 2. Experiment 2. Experiment 2. I'm just gonna use one other, and Jeff sent me so many of these slides. I'm just gonna sacrifice 2 for this experiment, folks. I'm going to coat this with Reiku glaze and see what happens. Reiku glaze was not made for what I'm using it for, so just an FYI out there. I should get a cup to pour this into because I don't want to inadvertently dry this glaze. All right. Folks, this is an experiment. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at me, it's an experiment. Okay. Just cleaning up after myself here. Cleaning. Where did I put the, oh. All right. get this out of the way. Okay, 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 okay. Now, here's the thing. From what I know about Reiku glaze, this is not going to yield a surface that you can use for a guitar slide, but I'm wondering if after it's been fired, once you put on a proper high gloss glaze, if it'll serve as a really nicely crackled undercoat for guitar slide. Again, it's an experiment, and I'm gonna need some proper glaze to for this one. Let's see. I'm gonna try to minimize my exposure to this glaze because I'm not sure what's in it. The other one I know is completely non-toxic, but yeah. Okay. All right, let's give that a minute to dry, and then we'll put another coat over it. Aha. I never do that. In French, you know, I don't know how to pronounce French words. I know that French is not like Spanish or Italian. It's not exactly it kind of is and kind of isn't a phonetic language. And so I gotta learn how to read in French so that I can pronounce that properly, Emmanuel. I wish I had something that could read my chat for me, and it would tell me how to pronounce that. All right. And look, yeah, this Reiku dries pretty quickly. Let's give it another coat. Why not? Following my gut here, folks. Following my gut. Following my gut. Let it dry a little bit there. Let me zoom closer so you guys can see what's going on my desk there. 3. You see how quickly it's drying. Very nice. We'll be able to apply that last coat soon. Again, we're experimenting, folks. This is Reiku glaze. It's not appropriate for guitar slides, but I figured since we're already doing a troubleshooting experiment with Raymond slide, I might as well see what Reiku glaze actually looks like on terracotta after being fired in the FuseWorks craft kiln. So we'll see what this looks like. Okay, we're gonna let that dry and put it in the kiln, and just get things out of the way of that kiln. Before I fire up the kiln, I'm gonna have to turn off the swamp cooler because nothing can be running, folks, and I do mean absolutely nothing can be running while that kiln is on. Nothing. Zero. So, yep. Are we dry yet? Not dry yet. In fact, let me turn everything off while that is going. We're gonna turn everything off. Turning things off. Off. Okay. Now this circuit is still on. Yeah, okay. There's nothing on. There's nothing working on this outlet. Or on the circuit that's connected to this outlet. Nothing else is on, nothing else is working. So now it is safe to fire up the kiln in here without a circuit breaker disaster. Okay, so here we go, folks. Here we go. The big experiment begins. Whoa. Okay. Man, I hope that we do get something viable out of this, because if so, there's a lot I can do with that dry jar of glaze. Let's make sure that the cable is fine. Let's do it this way. All right. Cable's totally out of the way. There we go. You're asking about the temperature. I'm not sure. This is a kiln that only works on one temperature. It's made for glass fusing and slumping, Emmanuel. I don't know the temp off of my head, but it heats up very fast and it remains at one temperature, and you can only fire for 15 minutes at a time. So if we're not perfectly glazed after 15 minutes, I can give it a 5-minute rest and then fire it up again, but only for another 15 minutes. But I found that I can fire low fire. I can make things with low fire clays with this thing, low fire glazes. That's why the Reiku thing is completely experimental. But let's see. All right, let's get you going. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. Cross your fingers, Raymond. Cross your fingers. Okay, this is better. Okay. Cross your fingers, Raymond. Here we go, folks. Jeff, welcome. We have Jeff Elliott from VVox Jeff YouTube channel in the chat, folks. Go check out Jeff's channel. Jeff is a master carpenter, makes beautiful, and he's a luthier. I think we can call you a luthier, Jeff. Beautiful, the most beautiful builds you've ever seen. Go check out his channel. All right, Jeff, we're running a bit of an experiment here. What I'm doing right now is complete sacrilege because, just to recap, Jeff, I thought I was gonna have smooth sailing glazing King Dolphin slide, but look at my glaze. My glaze solidified, and so I worked it like clay, placed it on top of a terracotta bisque, and I'm hoping that that will yield good results, Jeff. So we don't know. We don't know. This is an experiment. Here we go, folks. We're gonna turn on this machine. All right, here we go. And so it is humming right now and ticking, humming and ticking. And so we're gonna give this 15 minutes to work. In the meantime, we can go and look at my pears. I haven't checked on my pears today. First, we gotta see if they're still there. And then we gotta check if they're ripe. If they're ripe, I gotta pick them, because ripe fruit on my trees will not last very long because of the deer we have on the property. So let's go and check on that. We'll be back in 15 minutes to see if we have anything viable. All right. Jeff, don't tell the other Jeff what I'm doing, okay? Do not tell the other Jeff what's going on here. I shouldn't have tagged them in the video. Oh gosh, how funny. How disastrous and funny. How did you reconstitute your glaze? Jeff, it has a consistency of clay, so I hand shaped it, and I'm able to do that because the glaze that I bought has no lead in it. I hand shaped it and I slapped it onto the slide, and it's a complete mystery as to whether that will do anything good for us. Sounds good. Okay, so let me take you guys on a little natural tour here, because we got to give the kiln 15 minutes to work. Say hello to Oak Grove, guys. You know it's not hot right now, and I'm glad it isn't hot right now, because I have to have the swamp cooler off in the garage. With the kiln, as I said, nothing else can be running in the garage. It just draws so much current. It's a thing. If you guys decide to get your own FuseWorks craft kiln, be aware that while it's running, nothing else can be running on that circuit in your home. So if you're not sure how your home is wired, and especially if you live in a prefabricated home like me and Lawrence do, don't even run it in your home. If you have you know, an outbuilding like my garage that has its own tap into the mains, that's what you want to use. Yeah. And so here we go. I bet Jeff Patterson would have some input on that. Yes. Don't tell him anything, Jeff. Oh my gosh. I know he would be outraged by this experiment, by both of my experiments, because I'm also experimenting with Reiku glaze that I bought. I mean, I bought it without thinking, without reading about it, and I don't have the equipment to do it. I'm hoping that at least the journey is entertaining. Ooh, okay, let's check on these pears here. Let's check on these pears. Let's check on these pears. They're not. They're really woody. Much about pineapple pears. This tree has not been producing for very long. I think this is the second year it produces for us. No, it's still very, very woody. So I don't think these are ready. I'm gonna let them ripen, but I gotta check on them every day because I do not want the deer to eat them. I wanna make Perry for the holidays. Perry is pear mead, and it's supposed to be delicious, like a Spanish apple cider. I have a vase a potter friend gave me, really cool. I love ceramics, and I'm glad. There's so much to do with this machine, not just making guitar slides, Jeff, but I also want to make my own tuner beans and control knobs out of terracotta. Really, really rustic look. And I also want to get into glass slumping for the same reason, for repurposing some wine bottles I don't need anymore to make tuner beans and control knobs, and put in inclusions into the glass and stuff like that. Yeah, I really want to do that. You know? Then my guitars will truly be made out of more salvaged items. If I can get those glass bottle tuner beans to work. I have a method that I want to try that I researched with AI. And again, everything, all of the research you do with AI has to be verified. But I want to try this method that I researched with Gemini and see if I can actually make tuner beans with inclusion inside of the FuseWorks craft. Hey, here's my Chocho. How are you, my boo? How are you? What are you doing? All right. How are you, my poochie poo? You're a baby. Yeah. Yeah, come into the garage. We're doing silly things in the garage. Yeah. It's not hot out here right now, so it's like he's relaxing. He's doing his own thing. Yes, my pushy poo. You want pets? Pets? Yeah. Oh no, Frank is over here trying to start trouble with Joser. Let me scare him a little bit. They usually tolerate each other pretty well, but when I'm outside, they compete for attention. And Frank gets a little too aggressive with Joser. Frank, what's going on, Frank? Yeah, when Joser's around, he knows I mean business, because Joser is an old cat. But he doesn't really know how to defend himself. He's always been a loner. So even as a kitten, he never learned how to fight. And he got operated when he was young, so he doesn't have the same muscle mass as these other male cats who were taken care of when they were already mature. Yeah, Frank is dense. Joser's not dense. He's very fast though when he wants to be, but he's old and he's not, you know, he's not as strong as the other male cats on the property, so I have to protect him. We have the same orange cat, Emmanuel, yeah. I love orange kitties. Joser's a rescue though. I've never actually gone to a place to adopt cats. They just show up, guys. For me, they just show up. I don't know. San Francisco just sends me kitties to take care of, and you know, I'm quite obliging. Yes, 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 yes. What's going on, my poop? His name is Joser. He's named after the Egyptian pharaoh that built the Stet Pyramid. And he had a brother. We lost him a while back. Orange, just like him. His name was Imhotep. Get it? Joser, Imhotep. Imhotep was the guy, the architect, who designed the Great Pyramid. Yeah, cats make more cats, so that's why we have to, you know, we are trying to be responsible and operate all the kitties we have on the homestead so they don't keep reproducing. But cats out on a homestead are very important, Jeff. They keep the snakes away from your house. They catch rodents for you and bring them to you when you don't want them. They catch bugs. Yes, we rescued 2. Great, Emmanuel. Awesome. Yes, rescues are the way to go. We don't need breeders making new cats. There are plenty of kitties without homes out there. There are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kitties without homes out there. All you have to do is put out some food and you'll get yourself a beautiful kitty. Yes, right, Jojo? Isn't that true, my boo? Yes. Yes, Jojo agrees. Yeah. Adopt a kitty. Adopt a kitty. Kitties are good. We always had cats on the farm. Of course, Jeff. Of course. Ish. This is not a farm. It's just a little homestead. But they do their job when they're not fighting with each other. Come to the garage, Jojo. I'll keep Frank away. Don't worry. Come on. Come on, Poop. Come on, Poop. Come on. Man. Come on. I'm watching you, Frank. I'm watching you. Alright. Come on, Poop. He's taking the long way around into the garage. Alright. Alright. Hey, you made the stream, Black Hole Forge. We're running a bit of a nonsensical experiment in here, Black Hole Forge. You can rewind and see what I'm talking about. What I'm doing today, Black Hole Forge, because of a glazing disaster I discovered. We're running an experiment here with my FuseWorks craft kiln. So the kiln, folks, is still ticking. It's almost done. When it beeps, we'll open it very carefully. It will still be blazing hot in there. And we'll see if our 2 experimental slides will be things that we can use. An orange cat with white socks. Yep. Yep, that's Jojo. We have the same cat, Emmanuel. We have the same cat. Those of you who are just tuning in right now, the reason why we're running an experiment and not a legit glazing project, like I should be doing, is because I discovered that my low fire high gloss glaze solidified. Why? Because I didn't store it properly. And so so what I did was, this has the consistency of clay, so I kind of molded it by hand and placed it on, and I'm hoping that that will work because I don't have other glaze to work with. So I'm seeing if this recovery will work, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. 6 kilograms, a big cat. Oh yeah, your cat is much bigger than mine, Emmanuel. Yeah, Joser isn't heavy at all. He isn't heavy at all. Frank, I think, might be that heavy, but not Joser. All right. It's still ticking. I think it needs, let me see. It needs 2 more minutes, folks. It needs 2 more minutes before we can peek in and see if first we have anything that we can use, and 2, if we have something that we can use, we need to see if it needs more time. Okay. So do not exceed 15 minutes. Yeah. And that's the rule with the FuseWorks craft kiln. While we are waiting, what size slide do you like to make? Well, me personally, Black Hole Forge. I have tiny, tiny, tiny hands. So when I started hand shaping my slides, I make sure that I got wooden dowels that would yield tiny, tiny, tiny slides for people who have hands like mine, or for kids who want to play slide guitar. Whoa, it went beep. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys on the stand here, and we're gonna take I'm gonna get my gloves, my fire resistant gloves, and we're going to heat resistant mitts, and we're going to take a peek. How many times do you cook the slides? Well, under normal circumstances, Emmanuel, I usually just cook them twice. No, I'm wrong. I'm thinking of my tutorial. I cook them at least 3 times. Under normal circumstances. This by no means is normal. All right, let me place you guys on the stand here, and then we'll see what's happening. I'm gonna flip the camera so that I can read the chat at the same time. Very carefully, of course. Wait, placed it in the wrong way. There we go. Let me allow you guys to see things while I zoom in. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me grab those heat resistant mitts. Let me center this properly for you guys, because we want to see, I want you guys to see what's in there. All right. Whoop. Glove time. Oh my gosh. Surprise. Will we have a good surprise? Will we have a bad surprise? I don't know. I do not know what we will have. Oh. Okay. This is interesting. This is interesting. The slide in the back, which has the dried glaze, is a little bit lumpy, mostly smooth, but a little bit lumpy. So let's see. I mean, I see a lot of glaze drip around that slide, so I don't know if any actually stayed on the slide. So let's take a look at that again. I'm going to be very careful to open this again, folks. Bear with me here. So effing hot. Whoa. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear there. You know, to be honest with you, Raymond, I don't know if any of the glaze stuck onto the slide. But there's something interesting going on with the Reiku glaze. It looks smoother than what I expected. Maybe that will be a viable guitar slide. I do not know. Yeah, but I don't have much hope. Actually, I don't see that the slide in the back took any of the high gloss glaze. Okay. Yeah, I don't think any of the glaze. Okay. I'm gonna close this because something's snapping in there, and we might have left it open for too long, and we might have introduced a little element of thermal shock there. So again, everything that I'm doing today, folks, is a big no-no. Big no-no. Okay. All right. No. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. it's going to take 3 hours for the kiln to cool down completely. So at this point, I mean, I don't feel like there's any point in doing more refires. This glaze did not stick. I might be able to use it, from what I saw, I might be able to use it for some glass slumping projects, but the dry glaze did not stick onto the terracotta slide. Wendy says it's through experimentation that we learn what not to do. Exactly. Like, don't let your glaze dry out. Like, I remember when I first got this glaze, I was so excited to use it that I just started painting with it with the lid open. And I should have done what I did today with the Reiku glaze, which was pour it in a cup and then paint with it. That's what I should have done. But Raymond, I'm gonna bring you guys into the house. I have 2 slides that were made by my buddy Jeff Patterson, and you can choose between them. I'm going to order another tub of Amico glaze. Again, I think I can use this, from what I'm looking in the kiln, for some glass lumping projects, but not for making guitar slides. Gotta let that guy cool down. And we'll bring out some slides you can choose from, my friend. And so, yes. Let's go indoors and look at some slides, Raymond. Let's look at some slides that you can take home, or that can go home with you with the guitar. All right. Okay. Taking you guys off the stand here. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me flip you guys. All right. So, here's our nicely strung King Dolphin TV CBG, and it will be heading to its new home very soon. In fact, let me take it in with me. Maybe we can make we can play it a little more. Jeff is asking, can you add anything to make it liquid again? Jeff, I don't know enough about the chemistry of low fire glaze, about any ceramic glaze to do that. If it were Jeff Patterson, he'd probably say yes. But I don't know anything about it. And even if there was information out there, I think I'd be afraid to attempt it. I go to sleep. Have a good day, Liza. I see you later. I see you later, Manuel. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening in France. Yes. Or are you in France? I'm assuming you're in France because you speak French, but wherever you are in the world, Emmanuel, have a pleasant evening. Oh, have a pleasant day. Have a pleasant day, my friend. All right. Okay. Let's take King Dolphin indoors, pick a slide, make some recordings. That'll make me feel better. Here we go. We're bringing King Dolphin indoors. Isn't he gorgeous? Look at that. Look. I'm still dumbfounded by the copper on that. Ooh, it's beautiful. Copper gilding. I love it. And I'm going to continue doing it. And so, bringing it inside. I think this is my 34th cigar box guitar, Raymond. I have to check on my numberings, but I think this is number 34. Okay. I gotta be careful bringing it in because my cat, Londo, is crazy. All right. Keep it here. Not to tip off any kitties that are in here. All right. Oh, there they are. They're tipped off. They're tipped off. Londo, hello. Londo, hello. Let me secure him nicely in the office here, behind my green screen. Working here. Yeah, I got a Christmas tree year-round. Yes, I do. Can you find a way to autograph it? Absolutely. I'll do that for you right now, Raymond. Absolutely will. These are the only builds that I've kept. I've made, well, I think I said that yours was number 35. So I've made quite a few. Let me move you guys off to a different. You guys are watching our day, so I didn't have any of this ready for you guys. All right. All right. Ooh, I found another slide that I can offer up today. Okay, so let me show you what I have available. Raymond. Storm's moving in. I'll jump back in later. Oh, be safe, Black Hole Forge. All right, let's see. Where's the one that I showed you yesterday? I have it somewhere. Oh, Raymond, I have other options for you too. Hold on. I forgot about these. So let me show you all the options I have here. Okay. Let me show you the slide options I have available for you. Let me see. Okay. That looks really, really wild. Let me get my lighting up. There we go. There we go. Much better. Wasn't prepared to film in here, folks. Company here. I'll check in later. See you later, Jeff. So, Raymond, I have this. Oh, this is the one that I showed you yesterday. Again, I have this beautiful ceramic slide made by Jeff Patterson that I showed you yesterday. I think this will fit most hands, if not on the middle finger, then your pinky, if it's too small for that. So we have this option. And Jeff Patterson also made this slide. It's too big for me, so I've had to insert it, stuff it with stuff. But this one would also fit most hands, either as on your middle finger or on your pinky. And yes, he put cigar box guitar. he drew these in onto the slides. Isn't that amazing? He's a master ceramicist, so he knows how to do all of this. I also have this glass slide. It's too big for me. I think I bought it for Lawrence way long time ago, but he doesn't play slide. So this one I think would work for you too. A tad bit longer than Jeff's slides. Jeff's slides were designed for I think 3-string cigar box guitars. So, well, there's not too much of a difference in height. This is definitely for larger hands. So, what do you think would work best for you, Raymond? This one definitely has a bigger internal diameter. So if you feel like you have fat fingers and you need a bigger slide, this may be the one for you. If not, you know, I do recommend these heavy-duty ceramic ones over the glass. What do you think? Let me put them on camera all at the same time. What do you think, Raymond? Which one piques your fancy? You have thin fingers. Okay. So definitely one of these would be ideal for you, Jeff. Not Jeff, Raymond. Do you want the Jeff Patterson cigar box guitar one, or do you want the Jeff Patterson berries one? You like the one with the guitars? Yeah. Let's do it. This Shall Be Your Beautiful Slide by my friend Jeff Patterson. And if you have a chance, Raymond, go to his channel and look at his works. I think all you have to do is search Jeff Patterson cigar box guitar, and you'll see his palette guitar builds, and you'll also see maybe some of his ceramic work. I think he's posted some of his ceramics work for cigar box guitars on there. So I will be sending this with your guitar, and it will come protected in this sleeve that Jeff made for me. Very thoughtful. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna sign your guitar. Absolutely, gotta do that. I will do that for you. Okay. Now, I also like to include the numbering of the guitar. I have to look up to see. I think it's number 35, but I am not sure. Let me check here on my computer and see if it's number 34. Awesome, cool. And so let's check it. Let's check it. All right. Wait, I have a list of all my builds here on a drive. All right, here we go. Opening the list. Let's see. Do I have yours? Okay. Oh, no, your guitar is number 34, Raymond. You are guitar number 34. All right. So I'm going to sign it. I'm going to put the year on it, and I'm going to put number 34. Because King Dolphin is my 34th guitar. And so let's do that before I forget. All right. have a Sharpie here. Sharpie, Sharpie. Thought I did. Let me see. Is this right? I have a chalk marker here. That'll work just fine. Let's open it up. All right. All right. And I'm going to sign it inside of the box here. Let me get something to prop this up a little. Nope, not tall enough. Let's prop it up this way. There we go. Here we go. $20.26. $20.26, and this is number 34. And I'm going to say thank you, Raymond. Let me flip the camera so you guys can see what's in there. Thank you so much for putting me on to this project. All right, let's play this guitar a little bit before we go out into the garage and see what's come of our experimental slides. All right, flip, flip, flip. And you know what, Raymond? I'm gonna try to play with your slide. It's too big for my hands, but I think I can manage some simple playing on it. All right. And so I'm going to close this guy up again. My 34th cigar box guitar. Wow. It's been an adventure, folks. It certainly has. And I'm going to include an extra little, not too tight, just so that it's out of the way, just like that. Okay, it's going to need some tuning up, so we'll take care of that right now. Tuning up. There we go. All right. Yeah, need some tuning. Okay, we're gonna keep that as a dough. It's strings are still new and stretching, so we don't want to push it too hard. Hopefully Sandra will come home to hear it. No worries. She could catch it on the replay. No stress. No stress. All right, here we go. I do have my Joyo amp in here, so we can plug it in later. But for now, let's just hear it acoustically. And I'm using your slide, Raymond. again, this is acoustic. Let's play a CBG classic. You guys have heard me play this before. You've Got to Move. Let's plug it in and have a little fun with my Joyo amp. Blues songs that every cigar box guitar player needs to learn by Mississippi. Well, it's a old African American spiritual, but it was popularized by Mississippi Fred McDowell. And so thank you, Wendy. And so let's hear it with it plugged in. How about a little bit of that folk picking pattern from Busker 909's Lasers tutorial? Let's try it. Let me prep for it. This one I gotta prep in my head for. Yeah, maybe slow down the tempo a bit. Trying to get that pattern again. There it is. Now here I'm using the slide at an angle just to grab the last string on the CBG. And this slide is Raymond's slide. It's a little big for me, so it might tap the wood a little bit. I'm glad you liked it, Raymond. This guy is so beautiful. Let me tell you. One of my most beautiful builds. Look at that. I can't get over the copper gilding and the engraving. Can't get over that. Alrighty, so I'm gonna leave this here. Now folks, the next time you hear this guitar, I'm not gonna be the one playing it. It's gonna be Raymond from King Dolphin TV, and I hope that he will feature his playing on his channel. So, hint, hint, Raymond, hint, hint. And so, yeah. Just for smiles and giggles, let's see what's happened to our slide experiments. So this is going home with the guitar, Raymond. So I'll put it in this thing here. This is all ready to go. And Wendy is saying to Raymond, your CBG sounds amazing. If it makes weird squeaky noises, it's all on you, buddy. Hey, well, Wendy, the thing is, these CBGs, you can hear that they rattle, they rumble. These are rustic instruments. So Raymond, King Dolphin, if you make rattles, if you make rumbles, that's okay. That's part of the sound. That's part of the roots blues sound. So when you're learning to play, don't try to avoid those rumbles, those rattles, because you're going to get them anyways. That's what this cigar box guitar is all about. Noise and grit. It gives you a different playing experience than a regular guitar. That's part of the reason why we build them. All right. And so CBG, the King Dolphin TV cigar box guitar, number 34, my 34th build, is ready to be sent to my friend. Far, far away from North Florida. All right, so let's check in on our experiment. Just for giggles, just to see what's going on there. I doubt that the slides will be handleable, but is that even a word? I don't know if I'll be able to handle the slides. They may be too hot, but we'll see. Got it. Challenge accepted, says Raymond. Will I get something on the initial setup, tuning, etc.? Raymond, I'm gonna send you I'm gonna send you this along with the guitar. I'm gonna send you this card. You scan that QR code and you'll have access to all of my CBG lessons. It starts with lesson 0. Lesson 0 covers how to even hold the guitar and handle the slide, how, you know, the pressure you apply to the slide. I think in lesson 1, following that, we talk about tuning. And so, Raymond, like, play along with my lessons, and there are also lessons by other players on this list. But here's the thing. If you want to ask me questions in real time as you're learning, turn this card around and you have my number, and you can text me there. All right? Wendy says, I joke because I'm learning to play the violin at 56. Wendy, I feel your pain because I'm learning how to play my leg fiddle. And I am up there in age like you, my friend. So we're both learning how to play bowed instruments. And let me tell you, bowed instruments, no joke, are harder to approach than guitars of any kind. So much love and encouragement to you, Wendy. Lots of squeaks, yeah. You know, there are some instruments that are beginner friendly, where, you know, in a few hours a beginner can get beautiful sounds out of them. The violin isn't one of those instruments. Actually, my lessons are here, but if you need help in real time while you're playing, text me at the number on the card, okay? And I'm gonna send this card with your guitar. It'll be in the same little pack the slide is in. I'm all about customer support. Or you could email me if you're not text me. Text me. And I'm pretty good with my emails too, so, you know, however you want to communicate, that's fine with me. Lando, I don't have time to play with you right now. I'm on a live stream, Lando. My cat, Lando. Can you guys see him? Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Well, are you being nice today, Lando? No? You're not? Okay. Lando. All right, let's check on our experimental projects out there. Yeah. My mission by the end of the day will be to order new glaze. And then, beyond that, I'll make sure not to ruin it. Ruin a supply of perfectly good glaze. Lando, you gotta let me walk. You gotta let me walk, yes. Yes. I'm not ready for Lando yet. No. I'm not ready to play with Lando yet. No. All right. Maybe if I give him some food, he'll let me escape. Yeah. That's usually what I have to do to leave the house. Because Lando is my fermentations, folks. This is my water kefir and this is my homemade vinegar. Didn't make vinegar intentionally. Is that I left my mead in the primary fermenter for too long, and Acetobacter took over and made some vinegar. All right, I'm gonna give Lando some food here. Lando, all right. Because if I don't give him something, he's not gonna allow me to go out to the garage. Come on. Come on, Christina. Come on. Griffina, you have a plate here. Griffina. Okay. They're eating there. So get some of that cat food out of my hand. There. All right, let's sneak out. All right. All right. Ooh. Delivery. Amazon delivery. Okay. Cool. Wasn't me. Ooh, we got kitties out here. Oh no, they disappeared. Sorry. Okay. Walking back to the garage. Okay. Let's see what's happening in the Fuseworks craft kiln. All right. Let me flip. All right, fire resistant mitts, or heat resistant mitts, I should say. Okay, interesting. Yeah, total flop. So, conclusion, if your glaze dries out, you cannot simply just pack it on to a slide and have it work for you. It will not stick. And this slide here is actually a Reiku slide. It may be too textured to work as a guitar slide, but I won't know until I can actually handle the slide. And so I can't, it's still very hot in there. So this has got to spend the rest of the night cooling. So I will be purchasing new lead-free high gloss loads with, because I need to. I've run out of Jeff Patterson slides to give away, and Jeff Patterson made these bisques for me, and I haven't glazed them yet, so I got to do that. So I got an Amazon order to make when I get back indoors. So, folks, I appreciate you being here during this disastrous experimental live stream. Things didn't turn out how I hoped, but you know, as Wendy said, if we don't try, we don't learn things. And so I just learned things the practical way, the hard way. And so I appreciate you all for being here. Raymond, I will be in contact with you via email. Let's get that guitar to you, my friend. And so, folks, have a beautiful evening, and chaito.